Yo, Kel. I'm snagging first. First in a while. Open all jacked up in vertical. Oh no. Is it not working well in vertical? Welcome back, dude. What? Yeah, welcome back. It's been a very challenging week for me this last week. But it looks like we got our life sorted out. I was gonna stream Friday, but that did not happen for various reasons. And it's looking like TikTok is giving me a bad stream key again, so I might not be able to stream on TikTok anymore. It's not really a loss, but I'm definitely not gonna sit here and try to make it work. Didn't know where anything was. Let me see. All right, it looks normal, so that's good. I do owe you guys a watch time update over on YouTube, so that is exciting. Let's see. I don't need this app anymore then. I can't stream to TikTok. Forget you. Been a weird week in game news. I missed a bunch of stuff last week, but we're gonna leave the past in the past. Meta is so annoying. First, nice job being first on YouTube. Dun, 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 dun. I guess that's working. It won't give me a view count. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's been a minute. I just want to say, if you guys caught the drama from Friday from the discussion we had on the roundtable about the DC summer swimsuit skins in Fortnite. Hey, P-Dub. I hope you enjoyed that. I will not be engaging in the hilariously goofy takes on X on those anymore, but it is very funny to watch the community, the gamers, just break down over being literally just us going, hey, as parents, I don't like this. That's it. That was it. That was the discussion. I think this is inappropriate. The end. Oh man, very funny. P-Dub, have you been? How's everybody been? I know I've been gone a week or so. Guys, I was struggling last week. I took a day off work, and then I tried to power through the rest of the week, and it was a struggle fest between hacking up a lung and losing my voice a little bit, and just being completely exhausted. It was just like, well, I can work, but then Friday I was gonna stream. That was gonna happen. But when I went to stream, stuff was broken. In OBS, stuff was broken. In Mix It Up, there was just things that were going wrong. Right, yeah, basically, I completely agree. Yeah, it's like, and that's something that people noted they added with an update before. It's just, we've been helping another streamer with the Binding Coils of Bahamut and 14. Nice. I need to be able to play again. I'm gonna try to play some this week. Um, I don't know when. My kids started playing indoor soccer as part of the just summer sports stuff that's offered in the local rec leagues. And it's on Tuesday nights at 8. So I'm thinking if I streamed, it would have to be like right after work, and then we could go. I could like end a little early and go to her soccer games. Um, like I want to be there for her, and she's having a blast. So it's just fun being able to go support her and be a good dad, not be like, I gotta entertain people on the internet. I'm gonna play video games. You go do your. I'm not doing that. That's not me. That's not what I do. So it's all good. We'll figure out something. It's only for this month, and then next month is August in a few weeks. Right. No, that's what I'm saying. There's also the possibility of different days. The problem with that is Mondays are like I could stream tonight, and I'll talk to my wife about it. I could stream tonight. I could stream on Friday nights, but Friday nights tend to be family night, and then I could stream Saturday mornings. We've done that before. I don't know though. I have no clue. And then this weekend I'm supposed to go help my wife paint. So her classroom needs a fresh coat of paint. And so we're supposed to go do that this weekend. And so we're gonna, like, I say we're supposed to, we're gonna go do that this weekend. She's in chat. She can hear me. Hey, Gentle Killer, how's it going? Good to see you in chat. But I want to say I just apologize for being away for the week. I wasn't feeling great, and it just happened. Whatever was going around, and I caught it pretty hard. I don't usually get sick. Like if everybody in the house is usually struggling, I'm usually like, hey, how's it, everybody? Oh God, everybody is under the weather. Like I'm usually not the one to have the issues. But anyway, all right, that's enough of me yakking. Let's update. Okay, I owe you guys an update on the watch time goal because we didn't stream this weekend or this last Friday, and that definitely, okay, that was a weird page. Sorry, it looked different than usual, and then I figured out why. So I gotta say I'm pretty hyped about where we're at, but me not streaming last week definitely did have an impact. Where's Mix It Up? There you are. But we're gonna talk about Game Pass. We're gonna talk about a bunch of Xbox stuff today. A couple of trailers. One is a leaked trailer that I'm very interested to watch. The link. No, go away. I want to edit. There we go. All right, save and refresh, and then now the watch time goal will be at. Oh, I have to click yes. We're at 29:41, so we're a little under 60 hours needed to hit 3K watch hours. We're getting there. I'm back on content this week. I'll be streaming and doing some stuff. Hoping to do some recorded videos at some point on a couple of different things. It kind of depends on how the week shakes out. Hey Harold, good to see you, man. How are you? How are things going your way? Good to see you in chat. But yeah, let's just jump in. We've got some news to talk about. We'll jump into the main story and then all the little stuff at the end. It's just glad to have you back in my ear holes. It's a good place to be, I suppose. Thanks, Space Guru. It's good to have you in chat again. Good to be able to talk to everybody. I do miss it. I did miss it while I was sick. I was like, I feel terrible that I can't stream. Like, I don't want to go to work. I just want to stream. Ginger, good to see you. Good to see you this morning. Thank you for allowing me to participate in the gaming roundtable a lot of weeks in a row and constantly inviting me back. This weekend was interesting. I kind of got wrapped up in some stuff there. Yo, Ginger coming in with a gifted, dude. Let's go. Love having me on the show. I appreciate that, man. Hey, thank you for that 5 bomb there, man. That is much appreciated. That is huge. That is major support to the channel there, and I much appreciate it, man. You don't ever have to gift anything. Just allowing me to participate in your podcast is the gift. Smooth Jazz, what's up? That's what we were just talking about. We're under 60 watch hours until I can enable memberships. We're just under 60 watch hours. So if you guys can leave the Twitch tab open and go open the tab up on YouTube in the background, that helps a ton. Drop a like on YouTube, participate in chat. After the stream is over, go comment on the game news stream as well. That helps the things go around. So I'm pumped about how close we are to monetization phase 1. And then once we get to the 4,000, it's only 1,000 more hours to get to full partner on YouTube. So like it's really like the major hurdle is getting monetized, and then it's just like a step to the next thing. Yo, Supersonic, good to see you in chat. All right, let's jump into the game news. Now that we've updated the watch hours, we're at 2941 out of 3,000. So like I said, just under 60 hours to go. It's gonna be huge if we can get that this week, guys. It'll be an awesome way to round out the week. But we're gonna hop into our first topic today. We're gonna talk about Game Pass, and apparently it's detestment, it's hated. What's going on? Like, why is this coming out? Jez Gordon has a good write-up over on Windows Central about this, and I do want to cover it because Jason Schreier broke this news over the weekend, and I think it's worth talking about. It's worth having this discussion, right? So we should absolutely be doing it. So let's jump in. Some Xbox studio leads reportedly detest Game Pass. So why did Xbox push ahead with it? It felt like a race to zero. So Jazz wrote this up in a new podcast. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier shared thoughts from Xbox Game Studios leaders who reportedly, quote, detest Game Pass and its impact on perception of value. Now, I will say a lot of people, before we get into this article too much, a lot of people thought that the day and date stuff for Game Pass, and still feel this way, does devalue new releases. And to a certain degree, it does. I think for indies and kind of your AA releases, your second party kind of releases, as some might see those, you could imagine that those games might not get played at all and do very poorly. But if they're on Game Pass, there's really no risk to trying games, right? You're already paying for the sub. And I'll say from that angle, dropping day and date in Game Pass does have a benefit. But for AAA games, for some of these bigger studios, I don't think day and date is helping. I was excited as a consumer. I mean, heck yeah, Game Pass makes a lot of sense. As a publisher, game developer, working on the other side of this transaction, I can see why things are this way, are being seen this way, especially after, we've seen the numbers on Game Pass decline and all the things that we've learned about Game Pass thanks to Xbox's new direction under Asha Sharma. So he writes, it's a little conspicuous that in among all the strategy changes at Xbox thus far, new CEO Asha Sharma hasn't mentioned Game Pass all that much. Inspired by Netflix and Spotify era, or the Netflix and Spotify era, Xbox built Game Pass as an all-you-can-eat subscription service, serving everything from AAA blockbusters to hidden indie gems. During its heyday, it was hailed as the best value in gaming, and oftentimes seemed too good to be true. Increasingly, it looks like it might be the case. We kind of felt that. Invisible Tokers, what's up? Good to see you. Yes, thanks, Ginger, for the gifted. Submodel, make money. They'll never remove submodels. Oh, no, that's the thing, though. Game Pass is turning out not to make as much money. So that's kind of the issue it's turning out. I'm doing good, man. We're talking game news, talking about how the news over the weekend that Jason Schreier broke about Xbox's internal people hating Game Pass. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, I don't know how that makes you feel. I know personally, I'm kind of a situational subscriber at the moment. If I want to play something, I might subscribe. All right. Xbox's huge cuts this past month have been driven in large part due to a decline in Game Pass revenue and a decline in Call of Duty, so I'm told. Last year's Black Ops 7 didn't resonate as dominantly as the franchise previously has, as strong competition from Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders ate into its traditional user base. Let's not forget that Black Ops 7 was also very poorly delivered. It's not that it was in Game Pass, it's that the campaign was online only. It's that the multiplayer just kind of felt like a continuation of Black Ops 6 with maybe some stranger design choices. It's one of those things where it's not that Black Ops 7 had a lot of competition. I think Black Ops 7 was a bad game. It's a bad Call of Duty, and that's my take on it. Not that it hit Game Pass, not that it had strong competition. I think Black Ops 7 was just one of the weakest entries they've had in a while. I think the digital game license is going to be a big scam for Xbox and PlayStation. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole argument pretty soon. Can't wait for Black Ops 26, right? What's up, Daniel? Good to see you this morning. All right. Anyway, last year's Black Ops 7 did resonate. All right, so Black Ops 7 still went on to sell monstrous amounts, of course, but the operation is so vast and expensive, even small disruptions can have big consequences. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, chat. Indeed, the fact that Call of Duty showed up in Game Pass disrupted the business model at both ends. Fewer people purchased Call of Duty outright, and the Game Pass price hike to pay for it led to an exodus of users over time, disrupting both business models quite heavily. There are various other factors, but that's the core of what went down. Ultimately, as user behavior evolves, is Xbox Game Pass now having a net negative impact on Xbox's overall operation? Bloomberg's Jason Schreier discussed sentiments I've also heard about Xbox Game Pass's impact on Microsoft's gaming studios in no uncertain terms. So, quote, there are a lot of people out there in studio leadership within Xbox who absolutely detest Game Pass, Schreier said on his Triple Click podcast. They think it has destroyed the value of their games, think it has taken away the value from all games in general, and has been a detriment to the games industry in those people's view because of how it devalues games. Which, that's an argument we've heard outside of Game Pass, but I don't think we've heard from an internal opinion over at Xbox about this. So I was curious what my own sources felt on the topic. This is Jez speaking. Speaking to a former Xbox studio lead, they were pretty upfront about echoing what Schreier reported. Giving away games for, quote, free and Game Pass from day one sends a message to consumers that the games don't have an inherent market value. It almost creates an assumption that these titles could not sell on their own, one said. It felt like a race to zero. I asked another former Xbox lead with intimate knowledge of the Game Pass strategy previously, who explained that the idea around the whole platform was to offer core games a stable revenue stream, as many core users increasingly opt for free-to-play titles or wait for deep cuts in sales such as those often found on Steam. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's smart money, you know. It is more believable than Ghost 2. They need to make the sequel to Ghost. Like, what happened? Call of Duty Ghost was good. The campaign was. I didn't care for the multiplayer. But I'll say, I would like a conclusion to Call of Duty Ghosts. Where were we? Oh, yeah. They increasingly opt for free-to-play titles, wait for deep cuts in sales, such as those often found on Steam. I think that's just kind of general player behavior right now. You know, free-to-play titles are increasing. Well, were at the time the Game Pass launched, were increasing in popularity, easy to access, and then Steam sales and Xbox like Ultimate sales, like they have going on right now, are very nice. They're a great way to pick up games you haven't played in a while. Yeah, I agree. Invisible tokens. I do want to know what happened. All right, they explained that Xbox has an engagement formula it uses to allocate profits from Game Pass back to studios. Although some studio figures I've spoken to feel that these accounting mechanisms aren't transparent, nor are they motivating for studios whose bonuses have traditionally been tied to direct sales rather than oft vague engagement metrics. This post from Matt Piscatella says Circana Player Engagement Tracker US monthly active user charts for June 2026. Metric Chameleon debuted at on top of the Steam US monthly active user chart. Destiny 2 jumped from 5th to 32nd in May on Steam. Jeez. Where Winds Meet launched in top 10 on Xbox with Game Pass release. So that's interesting. I guess that's just show an example of like where the monthly active users would come from, maybe, or what's currently in the top 10. Despite Game Pass, it's true that the top 10 most played charts are generally dominated by the same handful of free-to-play titles or service titles that monetize primarily via bite-sized microtransactions. Game Pass was designed to encourage users who are perhaps less inclined to spend $70 on a full-price title to try something outside of their typical free-to-play habits. There was a time early in Xbox Game Pass's life where the instant audience Game Pass would grant helped games achieve free-to-play like virality, actually boosting retail sales. As Game Pass habits become embedded and expectations become set, it seems that the positive impacts of Game Pass becoming excuse me. Geez, that like snuck up on me. Become increasingly difficult to quantify. It's true that Game Pass by itself is driving billions in revenue for Microsoft, and consumers obviously love it. Many independent developers have remarked on funds from Game Pass as being a financial lifeline too, and that was the argument I was making. Dude, I'm like trying, dude. Xbox Studios, don't worry, we gauge success via monthly active users. In reality, you didn't sell enough, so now your studio's shut down. It's true, Smooth. It's true. Oh man. Okay, so hold on. I wanted to step back here. So the indie developers on funds from Game Pass as being a financial lifeline. This is the argument I was made at the beginning of like when we started reading was for AAA studios, Game Pass is a net negative because it does not lead to more sales. For indie devs, it is a discovery platform, a fantastic way for indie devs to get like exposure, to get access, all of the things that like indie devs really rely on. Game Pass provides in a big way. It's a bit of guaranteed income. It's a it's a distribution platform that they will push that game in front of people's eyeballs at least for the month that they drop it. It's a great advertisement for indie game. No, that's what I'm saying. I fully understand the benefit of dropping day and date in Game Pass if you're an indie game. I think that a lot of people agree. I'm not the only one that thinks this way. The AAA benefit is almost completely negated, though. Like, there's no reason any Xbox game at this point should be dropping day and date, like first party. A Halo campaign evolved. Even if they pulled that this last minute, I would not be surprised because you want more people buying this game, and you're gonna see not just that Halo campaign evolved will outsell the on PlayStation than the Xbox version, not just because there are more PlayStations out there and more PlayStation users than Xbox users, but simply because those that are still subbed on Game Pass are just gonna play it through Game Pass. I, on the other hand, plan on buying at least one copy. It may be a digital copy. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I plan on at least picking up one. And that's because I don't rely on Game Pass anymore. I broke the habit. The only thing I would resub to Game Pass is for my kid to discover more games. She she likes trying out different stuff, you know, but really she's kind of locked back into Minecraft and like the same handful of games. So I should really just pick those up, you know, like instead of letting her play this through Game Pass. So it says if Game Pass is subsidizing studios over retail sales, the harm of any potential decline seems to be distributed across the board, even across studios and teams that might have otherwise had good years in a traditionalist retail model. That is speculative, though, given how opaque the Game Pass business model is. We don't have a crystal ball to deduce how well a game might have performed outside of Game Pass as well. Xbox Game Pass has been core to Xbox's identity in the Phil Spencer era, and yeah, that's kind of the caption for this picture. I think that's going to change. Jason Schreier speculates that Microsoft might move away from its day one Xbox Game Pass model. Microsoft hasn't signaled intent to do that yet, but the fact that it will no longer include the latest Call of Duty titles in the service could be a hint. I suspect what we might get instead is some sort of build your own Game Pass where users can pay a premium for titles like Call of Duty, Forza Horizon, or even things like World of Warcraft or Minecraft subscriptions on an a la carte basis. Microsoft's Xbox margins are being crushed by a variety of crises, whether it's tariffs, supply chain problems, geopolitical issues, or the ongoing memory crisis. Microsoft has also seen interest in its Xbox hardware reach unprecedented declines, owing to the fact that it pivoted away from any form of exclusive content. And yeah, I think that's, you know, caught us like Activision bread and butter. No, absolutely. $10 a month. It's like the minimum, you know. Xbox Game Pass has remained a bright spot in Microsoft's overall gaming offering with consumers, which is true. We're getting the best end of the deal. Yeah, even the movie is Modern Warfare. I thought that was interesting for Call of Duty, Daniel. The Call of Duty movie going the Modern Warfare route makes sense, but it doesn't surprise me. But they could have gone World War II. Would have been good. So even as exclusive games failed to materialize, games got canceled and price hikes bit. Xbox fans and customers could usually point to Game Pass as a reason to stick with the platform. That changed when Microsoft hiked its price to $30 last year to offset Call of Duty's potential losses without a strong lineup of exclusive titles. Microsoft is likely cautious to do harm to one of the only unique selling points Xbox Series X and S consoles have left. So right now, I would imagine Microsoft is looking at every lever it can pull to boost up Xbox's margins. It is angled for devastating and potentially self-defeating layoffs in the short term. We've seen price hikes on hardware. I suspect addressing ways to tighten up Game Pass might be next. I fully expect day and date on Game Pass to disappear. I fully expect day and date on Game Pass to disappear. And here's why. Not just because it would be better for their studios to actually sell games on Xbox, but because the Game Pass model really should be restructured. As much as I don't subscribe to PlayStation Plus, I think they have the better value that works for PlayStation and it works for subscribers to PS Plus. I don't mind a subscription, but at this point I don't think Game Pass can keep going the way it's going, and it's not going to. They've cut so much already that they're just gonna keep doing that. There's no reason they're not gonna keep doing that, right? Microsoft is real happy to take the axe to projects that are even doing moderately well because they cost a lot to maintain. Like that's the truth of the matter. I just think the internal teams being also aggravated by the way Game Pass works for their own sales, and instead being left to try to entice monthly active users. What if, okay, long term, right? What if your game is just stuck in Game Pass? You maybe get a sale every so often, but it's like a single player game that's like one and done. You know, maybe there's some replay value for like achievements or whatever. But what if it's one and done? So the month it launches, you get a decent payout for monthly active users, and then the next month you don't. You know, like, or the rest of the lifetime of this game, you don't, and it's seen as a commercial failure inside Xbox because the monthly active users weren't there. But, you know, if it had just gone on sale, which it would be for sale anyway, but it wasn't advertised as this Game Pass, you know, feature, then the sales obviously might have been better. I say obviously might have been better. The sales might have been better. It might have been a better bet to avoid Game Pass altogether. And I'm just speaking from the AAA side. Clearly, I've already made the case for indies and kind of smaller budget games. Cloud should be free. You actually no, Daniel, you do need online for cloud saves. Yeah, cloud saves should be free for any platform. That's the one thing Microsoft does. I will give them. My cloud saves on my Microsoft account do not cost me OneDrive space. They don't cost me a monthly subscription. Yeah, you need online for you have to pay for PS Plus or Switch Online, Nintendo Online. I don't know what they call it anymore. Cloud Final Fantasy or Fox McCloud? Yeah. No, you gotta have Cloud Strife on your PlayStation to be able to use PlayStation Plus. Like, you have to buy Final Fantasy 7 remake trilogy. You have to buy all of them. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just okay. So that's where I do think that's where I think Microsoft is moving in the right direction. I just hope with Game Pass, if they could restructure it to be like, just rebrand it back to Xbox Live Gold, please. You know, like, first of all, do that. Make it work like PlayStation Plus. Just copy their homework. No one would complain except PlayStation gamers, because they love, like, the PlayStation fans love complaining about things Xbox does rather than looking at their own platform. But they're all caught up in their own digital only future anyway. So this would be an opportune time for Asha to just copy, you know, what PlayStation Plus does, rebrand all of that Game Pass to be Xbox Live Gold again. Hey, Denala, thanks for the work alert and to hydrate. I hope I have enough water left in this thing. Thank you. Anyway, they could really just rebrand the whole thing. Go back, you know, if they're going back to what makes Xbox, I think having Xbox Live Gold resurface, drop Game Pass entirely, keep the monthly, do the game collection of like first party titles, and add stuff like a year after it launches to the lineup, or 2 years when you're starting to put it on like these super sales where people aren't really going to buy it. It's already run its course. You're getting sales every so often, but just throw it in the subscription, and then that subscription gets more valuable over time because of the massive library of games you made available. This structure of having the massive library available up front is not working. We know it's not working. We have the numbers. They've talked about the losses, and Game Pass hasn't materialized the profits that they had hoped. It's time to change. All right, that's enough ranting about this, though. I've got several other things I want to cover in the next 30 minutes. A little more Xbox news. It says, we're committed to making this clearer. Xbox exec says it's not obvious to players which games will be exclusive. It's not, because they say it's a case-by-case basis. Well, what's the case? What's the criteria for determining that? Also, PW, if you're gonna buy any Final Fantasy, it should be 14, but that's a subscription. You don't have to buy it if you're just starting out. So Xbox is reportedly still deciding whether some upcoming games will be multi-platform. Xbox executives say it's working on making it clear to players which games will be console exclusives and which will be multi-platform. After announcing 2.5 years ago to be making its first-party games multi-platform, Xbox pivoted last month and stated that some of its games will be console exclusives, including Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. There's been some confusion since then among certain players who aren't sure what this means for console exclusivity in Xbox games going forward. The general message has been that live service and multiplayer games will remain multi-platform, but Gears of War E-Day being console exclusive appears to contradict this rule. In an interview with Games Radar, Xbox Chief Content Officer Matt Booty and Chief Strategy Officer Matthew Ball discussed this, with Ball suggesting that large live service titles would likely be multi-platform going forward, but that this didn't mean single player games would be all console exclusive. I wouldn't overly fixate on single player, Booty added. I think that's a good rule of thumb, but it certainly isn't something that's carved in stone. Explaining the process behind choosing which games are exclusive and which aren't, Booty said, "We're the stewards of over 20 game franchises that have made $1 billion in their lifetime. There are a lot of different games in our portfolio, and we have to think about how different games serve different purposes within it." That's still not clear. It's still not clear. Like, what determines what's exclusive? So they conceded that the messaging hasn't been clear to some players and that Xbox is working on making sure it's easier to understand in the future. We have a framework for these selections, including how we evaluate them. I recognize that this approach is not obvious to all of our players, and we are committed to making this clearer. The process or the fact that things are going to be exclusive. Again, it's like, what are you talking about? Something you look for us, something you should look for us for Something you should look for from us going forward is that when we put a date on a game, we will also announce what platforms it is coming to. The publication claims senior officials at Xbox said decisions were still being made on whether to make titles like Elder Scrolls 6 and other unannounced Activision, Bethesda, Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studios titles, console exclusives, or multi-platform releases. The pair also reiterated that any games that were previously confirmed to be coming to PlayStation 5 or Switch 2 will still be coming to those systems despite the recent pivot. We have titles where we have made a commitment to our partners and to our players that they were going to be multi-platform. We will be respecting this commitment while we're looking to be nimble, and it's fantastic to have the energy that's come with Asha's new leadership. We've also got projects that have been in the works for a long time. We have to hit the right balance between the work that the teams have invested and a strategy pivot. That's fair. I think in terms of exclusives, they're running out of years on their 10-year commitment for Call of Duty. So at some point, I expect Call of Duty to be a timed exclusive. I don't think it would ever be Xbox exclusive ever at all. I think that would be a huge mistake. Yeah, new Banjo should be exclusive, Daniel. Absolutely. Make a new Banjo, make it exclusive. And then a year after, put it on Switch, because it just would make sense. Make it a timed exclusive, because Banjo belongs on Nintendo. It does. It makes sense to me. The last time they did an Xbox exclusive Banjo, we got nuts and bolts, and that was gross. $1 per content is worth it. $40 for base plus all expansions, then $9.99 a month for 2,000 plus hours of content, and all and ever expanding is worth it. Talking about Final Fantasy 14. Smooth Jazz says, I maintain it'll just be timed exclusive. Nothing will actually be exclusive. Yeah, I don't think Call of Duty will ever be fully exclusive. I think if it's if anything's going to be fully exclusive, it's going to be smaller titles or largely single player titles. I think Halo, the pushback and the recent shift, I think Halo Campaign Evolved will be the only PlayStation release for Halo, but I'm also concerned with the recent cancellations for the other projects that Halo Studios had in the works, because it's like, what are they working on right now? PlayStation has Astrobot and Ratchet. Xbox needs their own instead of sharing Spyro and Crash. I agree. They could, they had, as serious as some of the core franchises Xbox has are, Master Chief is an icon for Xbox, associated with Xbox, forever associated with Xbox, by the way. Like, I don't think you can break that relationship, and seeing it come to PlayStation still looks weird for most of us. Sorry, excuse me. I think seeing PlayStation get a Halo title at all is odd. Fitting that it would be the first one, but the first one also being the last one is also kind of funny in and of its own. I highly doubt they continue to publish Halo games on PlayStation after this recommitment to all the exclusive things and whatever else, unless the next full Halo title or multiplayer experience gets a lot of support. I don't know. Oh man, I wish this coffee was still hot. It would be much easier to keep talking. Anyway, let's keep going. This is a rough show, y'all. I apologize. Pal World 1.0 drops last week and hits almost a million concurrent players on Steam. Congratulations. I wish I liked Pal World a little more. It's cool to see the player numbers skyrocket. You know, a lot of people want to talk about the obvious Pokemon comparisons, the fact that they won their lawsuit against it. Well, they didn't win their lawsuit. They won the lawsuit Nintendo slapped them with. Hey, Signal, good morning, sir. Good to see you. It's good to see this game be successful. I think it's a much needed competition in the monster catching genre, but I don't know that Pokemon's really going to do anything to combat or compete with Pal World. I think the Pokemon company is going to operate in their own lane, much like Nintendo operates in their own lane, and they're going to just leave it at that. They're going to continue doing what they do and hope to be continue to be the best at what they do, even if their games, you know, have struggled in the past. You know, I maintain that Sword and Shield was a better Pokemon game than Scarlet and Violet ever will be. I'd love to see Power World on Switch too. I think so, Ginger. I think that would be fun. That'd be very funny. Power World's going to save physical gaming. Mark, it doesn't make sense to me, but you know, sure, it could. Let's see, Take-Two made almost $1 billion more than expected and wants to acquire more companies. So they made some extra cash, and now they're hungry for more. In a new financial filing, Take-Two Interactive has revealed a stellar performance through its fiscal year 26, including a massive bout of momentum that took the company above all expectations. In this report, which numbers almost 100 pages, yikes, the next 12 months were laid bare, with Take-Two's Strauss Zelnick gushing over things to come. It was revealed that the firm achieved an incredible net bookings of 6.72 billion. I said 6 dot, like I'm reading an IP address or something. Almost 1 billion more than initial guidance going into the financial year. This fiscal year, Take-Two anticipates immense operating cash flow to come flooding into the firm. It's like almost as they have a big release coming out this year. Anticipates immense operating cash flow to come flooding into the firm, with more than $1 billion in the upcoming 12 months. This will obviously be bolstered immeasurably by the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6, arguably the most highly anticipated game ever. In his letter to shareholders, Strauss Zelnick, CEO, wrote, "We delivered outstanding fiscal 26 results, including net bookings of $6.72 billion, which is approximately $750 million above our initial guidance. Each of our labels exceeded our initial expectations. NBA 2K delivered record net bookings and recurrent consumer spending. Zynga achieved its highest level of net bookings since we acquired the business in 2022. I totally forgot that Take-Two acquired Zynga. That like went crazy over my head. Let's see. Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto series continue to drive significant net bookings and deep engagement with its passionate community of players. So things are looking phenomenal for Take-Two Interactive, and the full details will be divulged in a shareholder call on September 17th, 2 months before the launch of GTA 6. I imagine, Mark, will get pre-order numbers around this date or on this date. At least up to that date's pre-order count. Hey, Chili, good to see you. Talking Physical, one of the last physical game stores in the UK, has gone back into administration due to debt. Oh, that's no good. It really stinks. And it's so hard to pivot, because what do you pivot to? Tabletop gaming is great, but like, you know, TCGs and board games can't carry a store. We're talking about 40 million? I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Zelnick referenced that fiscal year 27 will be a major inflection point for our company, defined by groundbreaking entertainment experiences. It's not all about the cash cow that is Grand Theft Auto, though. The firm is poised to pursue creative M&A, merger and acquisition opportunities, and invest in technology. Suggesting that Take-Two intends to take the vast wealth coming into the firm and potentially scoop up some other studios or aligned companies. Take-Two's portfolio is already expansive, but things can always grow, and that's what Zelnick is talking about in this financial update. It's hard to tell where the firm might go, though. There was an insane 50-50 revenue split for Take-Two in fiscal year 26 between mobile and the traditional console and PC gaming markets. Mobile made $3.33 billion, while console, PC, and other made $3.32 billion. The split, that's a crazy split, by the way. Mobile by itself made the same amount as console, PC, and whatever other amounts to. Like, I don't know what other means in this instance, but wow. All right. I don't have a big opinion on Take-Two other than they're going to rake in all the money this year, and we should not be surprised by that at all. All right. Let's see what we got. Steam Machine Engineer warns memory crisis is getting worse. This is what we've been hearing. Steam Machine Engineer Yazan because I'm not gonna pronounce that, comments on the hardware launch and the memory supply issues. These comments come after Valve launched its take on a living room gaming PC for over $1,000. Daniel has a memory crisis. Oh no. Don't wander outside. One of the major stories in the industry in 2026 is the rising cost of RAM and the resulting increase in hardware prices. Now, an engineer who worked on the Steam Machine is the latest to warn players that prices don't appear to be going down anytime soon. Latest comments come from an interview with Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Man, the dude is everywhere. In the interview, Yazaj touched on the main mission of bringing PC gaming into the living room, and he believes this machine will solve that problem. We suspect that the Steam Machine is a really good way to solve a very real problem that people have. If that's borne out to be true, from our opinion, it's a success. Silver linings, right? Like, hey, let's look at the positive. Furthermore, he believes that the pricing issue will eventually resolve itself because either prices will come down or this will become the new normal and players will stop questioning it. Then he goes into why he believes the RAM issue is getting worse. Honestly, it's still getting worse. Just in case people are not aware, what people are seeing on retail shelves right now, from our observations, is lagging what we're seeing from a bulk supply by at least 3 to 6 months. Similar comments about the RAM issue worsening before it levels out and becomes the new normal were recently made by Lenovo. So yeah, it seems like with the 3 to 6 month delay, if that's true, which it kind of makes sense, we should start seeing less and less RAM availability at the consumer level at all. I'm guessing. I don't really know. I just hate that this is where we are, right? Like this is what we get to talk about. At least we're not talking about layoffs this week, but this AI boom has just resulted in gaming becoming a harder hobby to support because of how expensive everything gets. I'm looking at I've been trying to find a PS5 Pro, right? And those have gone up to $900 retail. This used game shop, thanks for the hydrate. The used game shop that I go to at the one game store we have left in my town, I went there yesterday and they had a PS5 Pro and it was $790, right? Their used price for this thing, $790. That's still well above the original retail price, and likely that PS5 Pro wasn't made after the price increase. So you're telling me that the existing value of the machine has gone up simply because the newly manufactured ones are more expensive. Like, that's what I don't understand about goods that are sitting on a shelf suddenly increase in value because the next batch will cost more to make. That kind of drives me up the wall. It's like, it is supply and demand, and I totally understand it from that perspective, but that's like saying, and I guess the collector's market really sees this happen a lot, but it's like this, a Pokemon card costs like 30 cents to print or whatever and distribute, but the value of the card based on its rarity continues to go up and up and up but that 30-cent printing cost never changed, you know? And so it's like, it's hard for me to sit there and put value or suddenly increased value because the creation cost changed. The PlayStation isn't rare. It's that the manufacturing costs increased, the materials cost increased after the fact, and so the existing units shouldn't have been affected by the price change. And yet we have retailers or secondhand retailers marking these things up to nearly new prices simply because the new prices exist. And that bugs me. That bugs me completely. I'm saying, look at the manufacturer data of that thing. If it's when the PS5 Pro launched, if it's a launch model Pro, it shouldn't be as valuable as the more expensive model, even though they're the exact same, because the parts didn't cost that much back then, right? Like that's what bugs me. But demand went up, reflected of, well, demand didn't increase. Supply got constrained. Your supply went down, right? Like the demand is kind of linear at this point. If anything, demand went down and supply went down, but cost of supply went up, which is kind of a different graph if I'm visualizing that correctly. And you would know better than me. Like, I'm just arguing like my perspective here. I'm kind of a dummy when it comes to this. It's just stupid. It's really, the whole situation is stupid, Mark. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. All right, let's move on. I was gonna cover this last week, and I still wanted to cover it here. I kind of want to get the chat's feedback on this because there's a few of you guys who like Final Fantasy in chat. Good to see everybody this morning. Chinese version of Final Fantasy 14 Mobile shutting down in September. Global launch canceled. Don't worry, we will live in a future where we can stream our games directly into our furry suits. Oh, rip Final Fantasy 14 Mobile. I agree, Brian. I agree. I kind of wanted to see what this had to offer. I was looking forward to this release going global. Lightspeed Studios is shutting down the Chinese version of Final Fantasy 14 Mobile. The game was launched in China in 2025 and will shut down on September 30th. In their statement, the studio cited adjustments in business operations and changes in the market environment leading to Tencent and Square Enix making the decision to terminate their licensing agreement and shutter the game. Excuse me. So here's the thing. It kind of feels like Square is pulling out of the mobile market entirely. And it's like, did you guys see what Take-Two just reported Zynga making in the mobile market? I don't give the Dissidia game that's on mobile right now much more than the end of next year before they pull the plug on it. If it lasts longer, that would shock me. And it's a fun game. I really wish it would hit console. If it hit PlayStation and PC, it would be a lot of fun. Well, I guess it would hit Xbox as well. I'm not saying it shouldn't hit Xbox. I'm just saying, just in the grand scheme of things, if it hit PlayStation and PC, that Dissidia game's a lot of fun to play. It's got a little bit of a gotcha to it. It's fine. I haven't been tempted to spend money in a way that's detrimental to, you know, my finances. I spent like $2 on the game for the like first battle pass, and it came with a bunch of free stuff. Like that was it. Anyway, just considering that, you know, they pulled the plug on this. They pulled the plug on Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which I have an update on. We'll watch later. We'll talk about that in a minute. It just seems like Square is just not able to land in the mobile market like they wanted to. But I also think with Final Fantasy 14 Mobile, like that seemed like that should have been a like guaranteed, you know, audience conversion. Think FF14 Mobile was a backup if Nintendo backed out of the deal. Oh, to put 14 on Switch 2? That's fair. In their statement, the studio cited adjustment business operation changes in the market. Okay. So, Lightspeed's statement on the service termination of Final Fantasy 14 Mobile. The statement was posted on the game's website on July 17th and details determination, schedule, and more, including heartfelt thank yous to the players. A portion of the full statement can be read below. Dear adventurers, thank you for your support for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile Chinese Edition. As always, on the launch day in the Chinese mainland, we said resonate with the light and blaze as one, and promised that the adventure had just begun. That rhymed. Over this time, it is you who truly brought mobile Eorzea to life. Every suggestion you shared on gameplay, experiences, and features guided us to build the game world. Seasoned warriors of light stepped up as mentors, walking newcomers through the confusion of their first steps into Eorzea, and countless mornings and nights spent fighting side by side came together to form the vast, warm community we've once envisioned together. To have resonated with all of you adventurers on this journey has been the greatest fortune of this world we built together, and a memory we will always treasure. Today, however, we must regretfully share an important announcement. Due to adjustments in business operations and changes in the market environment, Tencent and Square Enix have, through amicable negotiation, decided to terminate the licensing agreement for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile Chinese Edition. We're sorry to announce that we will officially stop the game operation for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile Chinese Edition in the Chinese mainland on September 30th, 2026. Everyone who has journeyed with us until now, we sincerely apologize. We must end this service without being able to fully live up to your expectations. At the same time, we wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have supported us along the way. Thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts to everyone who has been looking forward to the global version. We also offer our sincere apologies for being unable to meet your expectations. I don't know, I was kind of looking forward to what they were doing here. See, wasn't Square working on mobile? It was licensed by Tencent. Yeah, but Square still had controlling, this had a controlling factor. It's okay, I forgive them. Oh, good, Mark. I'm sure they feel better. They you forgive them specifically. All this reminds me is that I need to play more Final Fantasy 14. Like, I haven't played in a few weeks, and I feel like I'm missing something. No, I'm just kidding. I've just kind of missed playing. But it just seems like Square hasn't been able to land a mobile title that lasts very long. What was the longest one? Was Record Keeper the longest one they had going? They did apologize. We should just give them a there. It's okay. Don't worry, buddy. You tried. That's all that matters. I just feel like whatever Square's mobile ambitions are, maybe they're just not in the right audience. Maybe they're not in the right game mechanics. I don't know. As somebody who tried to enjoy Kingdom Hearts Mobile, the Union Cross, and then they changed the name of the game a bunch of times, but that game was all right. I didn't hate it. I definitely felt like if I didn't pay to play, I was never going to finish or catch up to the story, as far as that goes. And that game having serious impact on the main story for Kingdom Hearts was odd. This game should have been an easy dunk, especially in the Chinese market. So I wonder what didn't land, or maybe there was just too high costs associated with supporting this and expanding Final Fantasy 14 further, in the way everything's going, and everything getting a little leaner for dev studios. Maybe Square was just like, hey, let's not do this right now. 14 is black hole of a game. No matter if you quit, you always come back at some point. You know what? I understand why. Fully understand why. But it's a shame to see this project get canceled. I was hoping for the global release to at least check it out, because the mobile changes seemed interesting, right? Like the mobile version seemed interesting to me. But oh well. It is what it is. All right, where are we at on news? Okay. A couple more articles, and then one more article, and then a couple trailers. All right, it's an unofficial PC port of Gears of War 2 based on a leaked build from 2008. So I thought this was interesting. This is over on PC Gamer, which I don't feature a lot from. But Gears of War 2 featured a campaign you could blast through over the course of a weekend. The perfect length for the kind of story that strings together a bunch of set-piece spectacles that won't tax your thinking muscles. At one point, you end up inside a giant worm and have to fight your way out. It's great. But it's one of a couple of Gears of Wars that never made it to PC. Maybe because well, Cliff Blazinski was going through a down with piracy phase at the time, saying things like the person who is savvy enough to want to have a good PC to upgrade their video card is a person who's savvy enough to know BitTorrent, to know all the elements so they can pirate software. Interesting, Cliffy B. I didn't know you felt that way about piracy. Maybe you changed your mind. I don't know. Whatever the reason, we didn't get Gears of War 2 or 3 on PC. There was a leaked build with Windows binaries back in early 2008. However, that's what Helios X has used to make Gears of War 2 Hollow, an unofficial port of the Xbox 360's greatest celebration of gleeful meatheadedness, which you can download and play today. This port contains the Road to Ruin DLC and saves your progress at the completion of each chapter. And while you can try the multiplayer, it's not guaranteed to work. It just wasn't tested, honestly, as my focus was pure single player. Launchers are available on ModDB, and while the other files you need to run it were available on on Helios's Discord, that's now been rammed with so many requests to join that it's gone down. You'll have to source those files from elsewhere. Oh, I don't like visiting elsewhere. That's a scary part of the internet. But that's kind of cool. I like seeing like these N64 decompilations and these recompiled N64 games hit PC, and it's like, oh, look at that, it's Ocarina of Time in fully widescreen, or now we have a fully randomized, truly randomized Ocarina of Time, and not some emulator hack. Like, we were able to like affect the game at a level we haven't been able to before, and I think that's super cool. Like, that's really neat. I'm hoping as time progresses we'll start to see more stuff like this, where there's like the GoldenEye Xbox 360 arcade version that you could download from places and experience. I love that. I wish that had come out officially, and I think Asha could give us that GoldenEye remaster, at some point if we make enough noise. They'd have to get Amazon's permission at this point, though. I think that would be a complicated ask. But that kind of stuff is really neat to see, just from a preservation standpoint, but also just from what could have been, right? Like Gears 2 on PC might have been massive. I don't know. I do know that I remember juggling time between Gears of War 1, whatever Halo title was out at the time as well. I think it was just Halo 3. I don't fully remember. And I was dabbling in World of Warcraft, and I remember abandoning World of Warcraft because more of my friends were playing Gears. And then when I jumped on Gears 2, I was like, this is great. Like, this is one of my favorite games ever, And Gears 3 is all right. I didn't like it as much, but Gears 2 is fantastic. Gears 1 and 2 are like my favorites in the series. I just don't. I remember playing Gears 3, and that's about it. That's all I can say. I'm just catching up on chat. I missed a couple things. Gears Tactics, was it good? I didn't get to play it. I'm bad at tactics games, though. I don't think I wanted to play it. Oh, I saw Brian said no sub, but even still, I wondered if people would want that over official version that does have a sub. Seemed like a weird project from the rip. Yeah, that for Final Fantasy, that was an odd choice, right? Like, the mobile version had no sub, but like, did it have microtransactions? Did it have like skins and gear shop? I don't know. You saw Prime Suit of Fortnite yesterday. I was in the clip. It was a lived experience for me. I was there. I was also having a little experience on X, Twitter, and then I realized I didn't like the pettiness that I was letting flow through my veins, and I pulled it back some, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go be offline. That's what I did, and it was great. Chili, I still remember the PS3 build of Gears of War 3. They were using it to test the engine, but it never got released. Yeah, I always thought that was interesting because people were speculating for the longest. Gears is finally coming to PlayStation. Well, the Microsoft's lost the exclusivity, and then Gears actually comes to PlayStation, and it's like, womp womp. Don't think it's that bad. Still like kids to play. I don't think it's that dirty. That's fair. Again, that was kind of the whole point of the discussion, was to get everybody's read on how they feel about it. I also enjoyed seeing the comments of people that were just insane. You know, the mobile version of Final Fantasy had MTX, but it wasn't very pay to win. That makes sense. The key to an online presence is to have lots of resilience and not lose your soul at the same time. That's why I ignored the furry attack on me. The furry attack is still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken, Mark. You're constantly being attacked by furries, but they're not real, so you're just not aware. I conceded that the PvP server that is Twitter is the king, and you know, I just needed a break. You know, I wasn't even affected really. I got tired of like seeing the same uneducated comments back to back, and I was like, I'm done. I want to respond to these things and be petty about it, but then I don't need to. It's not good for me, you know. Okay, Final Fantasy X got a 25th anniversary special movie. I want to watch it. So let's check it out. I haven't seen this. It's a minute and a half.
一つだけお願いがあります。いなくなってしまった人たちのこと、時々でいいから思い出してください。
最後かもしれないだろう。だから全部話しておきたいんだ。
私は真の一部となり、不滅の真と共に行く。永遠にな。
私、真を倒します。必ず倒します。真を倒しても一緒にユーナも死んじゃうんだよ。
あいつはみんな承知の上で召喚師の道を選んだんだ。
罪が消えれば真も消える。エボンはそう教えてきたのです。
ユーナの前に立つ敵は決まりが倒す。
生きていれば無限の可能性があんたを待っているんだ。
遅えぞアロン。
すぐに終わらせてやるからな。さっさとやられろよ。
Dang. They really are just like, hey, remember being sad?
いらない。
一緒に続けよう。俺たちの物語をさ。
Were you in a good mood today? That's cool. We didn't get a special movie for Final Fantasy IX. So, shut up. All right, anyway. Never make X3 if it's based on the novel. I didn't even know there was a novel, Chili. So now I'm curious, but I'm also not. Maybe I'll stay away from it. Also, Daniel, I did see your comment. Seeing the Avengers trailer, I did watch it. I don't know if we could watch it here because, you know, reaction stuff gets tagged so hard on YouTube. I will say I'm gonna take a risk with this Kingdom Hearts Missing Link full extended opening cutscene. It's 4 minutes. This is a leaked thing. This was from the canceled mobile game. Again, another Square Enix mobile title that was canceled mid-development after years of trailers and teasers and a couple of global test launches. This trailer never made it out. I don't know where it was leaked. I don't know how it was leaked. If this video gets taken down, that's really gonna suck, but I'm going for it. I'm gonna watch this and we'll watch it together. I don't know anything about this trailer or this opening movie. It's just crazy how far along this game was in development and they pulled the plug. I was kind of hoping they could just turn it into a full game on console instead of just canceling it entirely. It reminds me of the space armor in Birth by Sleep that everybody got. I forgot what they called it officially, but Oh, dang. That dude got killed. These guys are wearing power armor and fighting with keyblades. It's like two of my favorite things. This is the opening movie from Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which was canceled. Just remember, this is an opening movie, not indicative of gameplay. So of course it's gonna look really good. So now where are they? I guess it's Quadratum, huh? And do they, is that where they started from? Or did they get sent there because they died? They died. Is it Kingdom Hearts Backrooms?
歪みは人やハートレスを吐き出し続け、その正体に直面したのは建国から3世代目だったと聞く。
I really was looking forward to this title.
光と闇から生
The
まれた
art
始まり
style
は
and the character designs
心
really
によって
interested me.
育まれた。命は脈々と受け継がれ、時が流れる。やがて世界となった大地は人々の暮らしを作り上げた。
We're going to Hogwarts, boys. Yeah, 4 is definitely continuing with some of the style.
継ぐ者と継がざる者、夢と歪みを持った多層都市スカラ・アドカエル。他ならぬ君がこの世
That
界
guy's
に目
from
覚めたの
the
は
Union Cross game.
漆黒の空に美しく歪んだ星の降る夜だった。
Yeah, hi, Final Fantasy Versus 13. Nah, what could have been? What could have been? It was a mobile game, guys. It was a mobile game. That cutscene was entirely misleading, but it could have been good. It could have been good. I think the thing that bums me out the most with that game getting canceled is that we'll never know what story they were trying to tell. But then again, do we know the story of Kingdom Hearts? Oh, it doesn't matter, Zenthos. It's not coming out anyway. The mobile game is definitely better than 1 and 2. Mark, that's low. That's bait. That's bait, man. You could have said 3, and I might have agreed with you, but I like it all. But it's just crazy. What's up, Brent? Good to see you. It's crazy how that just gets canceled, and that's it. It's just like, hey, we're canning the story. It'd be really great. Again, I don't know the likelihood they would do this, especially before Kingdom Hearts 4 launches. But it'd be really great if they just reworked the story and the game into a full console side story. Looked like the City or Monster Hunter, but Kingdom Hearts. Right, like that was kind of the vibe I was getting, Daniel, was that it was more of a what the Dissidia game. It feels like the new Dissidia game that's on mobile because it's got like a subtitle or whatever. Is what this game was reworked into, or at least based upon, because the whole you're in, you know, a realistic looking world. I think Dissidia just puts you in Tokyo, like you're just in real life Tokyo as Final Fantasy characters who are pulled out of their own game world dimensions or whatever, and they're all fighting together. Right. Well, the new Kingdom Hearts setting is Quadratum, which looks like Tokyo, right? Like that's the thing. They established that with the end of Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC. And so that all being considered, they were going to continue that style. What I want to know is what's with the power armor dudes? Where did they come from? Like, how did they like plummet down with, you know, what were, I don't know, man. There's too many questions there. The inner Kingdom Hearts fan and theorist in me is just asking all sorts of questions that don't matter because this game doesn't exist, you know? So it's like, I want to know, Nomura, please make this happen. Give us at least a summary of what this story was, or some cutscenes or something. The game was so far in development, like they had the entire intro done. Like, come on. They come from our hopes, love, and darkness, or something like that. Right. It's all of our hearts. That's what it is. It's all it is. It's our hearts are connected, and by things and love and stuff. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the game news. I do have to get to work. I'm like way over time this morning, but I owed you guys a longer stream. I did see the new Doomsday trailer, and I have not been hyped for a Marvel movie in a long time. Like I'm hyped about Avengers Doomsday. I kind of wanted to watch the trailer on stream with you guys, and we could just watch it together and all fangirl about it. But at the same time, I've already watched a leaked trailer, so Disney would come down on my channel twice as hard if we did that. Doom just stopping Stormbreaker with his finger is awesome. Oh, dude, I'm excited for just the direction they're going with this. Like, Doctor Doom is going to be insane. The darkness in our hearts fought the hope and love in our hearts, and then we fought the unhearted and the unhopeful with our hearts. There, just to add on to your comment there, Mark. You forgot to mention darkness 18 more times, and light once, and then hearts you have to say a bunch, and memories and forgetfulness, and something else. I don't know. Want Loki and Thor interaction? I do too. It makes me realize that I never watched the second season of Loki. I feel like I should. I still haven't seen Fantastic Four. I didn't watch it at all. Then Nobody's into Somebody's Chain of Unhearted. Yeah, sets up Doomsday. Yeah, I plan on going back and watch it. Doom blocking the attack like Goku. I know, it's so cool. I also think the end of the trailer, Thor's reaction to Cap was just like, oh, what's happening? Loki was good. Fantastic Four was also a good movie. Oh yeah, Thunderbolts I need to watch as well. I didn't watch Thunderbolts. I didn't watch. I got done with Marvel because it felt like they were done making good stuff. You know, all of those Disney Plus shows did not pan out. Most of them were not good. Like, let's be honest. But a couple of them were okay. Like, I think Loki was good. I enjoyed WandaVision up until the end. Loki's not the most powerful. He'll be Doom. Haven't been keeping up with MCU after Loki. Yeah, missing out. Second, I need to watch it. Thunderbolts are great because it felt entirely different than anything the MCU has done. I want to watch it. I plan on watching it. Should watch Loki season 2. Nice. All right, guys. Well, let's see. There's enough of y'all. Let's see who we could redirect to today. As soon as I find my tabs. There we go. I did it. Stream settings. Who's live on YouTube that we could just channel you guys over to? No one. There's zero. So you guys are just gonna have to go find something else to watch. And if you're on Twitch, we definitely do a raid this morning to somebody. Who am I following? I usually pick from a handful of people I follow for good content or just friends. If you're watching, I don't know, guys. The pickings are slim this morning. Everybody on vacation right now? Is that what it is? This guy's name is Frog Pants. Did you smash JT? Lano in 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to stay online that long. So I'm out. All right. I appreciate y'all watching though. I wish I could redirect y'all to something else, but I can't because nobody else is live. I liked everything that Ginger did online yesterday. It was fantastic. Watching him handle the trolls was beautiful. Everything was great about it. It was so awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, don't forget to like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching on any other platform that supports it, please also hit a thumbs up if it exists. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, we got 6 likes. Can we make it more? Can we make it 10? Can I get 4 more people to hit the like button? Me and my piddly 10 likes, I'll be happy. I see 8. Can we make it 10 before I end, and then I'll be out of here. Germany soon. Oh, for the Final Fantasy, is it for the Fan Fest? That's gonna be so cool, Chili. I'm glad you get to go. I really want to make it out to some gaming events in the US this year. It's just they all happen so far away, and it's so expensive to go that far. I live in the middle of nowhere, the middle of nothing. Look in the darkness of your heart, hearted it with a like. Hey, you know what, Signal? It makes sense. Mark, it makes sense. Oh yeah, Gamescom's coming up. I never expect anything new to come out of Gamescom. It's usually just a repeat. Well, it used to be just a repeat of E3, and then now it's a repeat of Summer Games Fest with a few new announcements, maybe. Yeah, that's what I thought Chili was going for, the Fan Fest. All right, we get one more person to hit the like button, and we'll see you 10, and then I'm out of here. Impressive. I like that the YouTube chat translated that, Daniel. Like the YouTube chat widget translated that for me and showed me a little icon. That's a new feature. I haven't seen that yet. That's nice. I appreciate all of that, because I'll have people coming in chatting all sorts of stuff and not translating it. Square gave you media tickets again? Dude, that is awesome. That is super cool. All right. Well, I gotta go. I can't hang out much longer. All right. Love you guys. Y'all have a great day. And I might see you tonight. I don't know. Also means awesome. Is what you going for? Well, you tried. An attempt was made. I'll forgive you this time. Hey, 11 likes. Let's go. We beat the goal. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. We're very close to getting monetization. Maybe, Mark. I don't know. Depends on what you're playing. Talk to me. Send me a DM or text. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you want. I love you guys. I gotta go. Bye.